hopefully, if you're not a stingy human being, if you get better, the people around you also get better. Your parents get better. Your kids get better. Neighbors who are not okay also, you know, basically experience or get a taste of some of the changes that are taking place in your life. And so to help us do that, I've got Bernard Ocheng with me in the studio. Now, Bernard is a financial advisor, as I keep on saying, is a guy who can walk you through the financial maze. If you get yourself lost within that financial maze, all you need to do is call up Bernard. And one of these days, with his permission, I'll put his number on the screen so that just in case you want any help concerning, you know, some of the things like you want to do your taxes, you want to get your company registered, or go through the entire madhovanyos within that whole system. He's the guy to sort you out. Welcome, Bernard.
Thank you, Mr. Fred. It's always a pleasure to be at EBN.
Thank you.
God, yeah.
Wealth creation.
Yes.
It's a term that can easily come out of our mouths.
Yes.
But how do we do this? But before we do that, we need to probably define what wealth is. Okay. What is wealth? So that when it comes to creating it, we know this is what we are creating.
So the term wealth is a coined word. It's a pregnant word that carries many things. So, but number one thing I can talk about wealth is valuable resources. But it combines a number of things. Like most time when we talk about wealth, people only think about money. Yes. But money is just one segment of it. That is why I'm using the word resources, valuable resources. And you'll realize that when we are not only looking about the financial, even things like we said about, like there's what we call the material in terms of the tangible assets. We talk about like properties, talk about land, we talk about and then another now higher dimension. When you talk about wealth, you think about even things like intellectual, the knowledge, some of the even inventions you've created that can last generations for generation. So the best time is to do valuable resources. And even when you talk about like network, because network, things happen through people. Like somebody said, if you don't, whatever money cannot buy, relationships can buy.
Whatever money cannot buy, relationships can buy.
Yes.
So wealth is valuable resources.
Yeah. And then you see people is resources.
And if you?
People is resources.
Valuable resources, including people.
Yes.
That is what wealth is.
Yes.
So when we talk about creating this, because I look at countries like Japan or a country like the Netherlands.
Yes.
These are countries that don't have land like we do.
Yes.
In the sense that they are competing for every inch of earth. Yet, the way they value the asset of land, which here we are willing to chop your head and hang it somewhere. Yes. People have killed, people in Kisii, in Central, in Western have killed their parents because of land. Yet in countries like Japan, land is not considered that much of a resource. It is the content of their mind that they consider to be wealth. Yes.
And that is why I talked about, even when you think about the mental, like your mind. The other time I talk about, like you're thinking about the mindset, whatever is in your mind. Actually, somebody said that if you lose everything, what really matters, because it's something I've seen in my life. There are cases you can, if whatever everything you're having today, even in your household, is taken away of you.
Yes.
What really matters is the mind that created those things. If the mindset of ability to create and provide solutions is still there, these things will come here. There's a statement that Apostle Joshua Selman keeps on making, and he gives a narration that people are busy chasing for things, but there's something they have not done. And he said, when you grow in your mind and in your ability and in knowledge, like now about money and wealth, there are things that will just follow you. And he gave a very simple analogy. There are jobs when you get, like if you are a manager in a corporate world, there are things you never ask for, like a car,
True.
a house,
Yes.
assistant driver.
Yes.
But you say what is happening in the world, like people is chasing, I want this, like in their mind, like for example, you are claiming something, but your mindset and your ability, I think last time we said where your mind has gone, it will take you there.
Yes.
But if your mind is not there, even no matter how much you try, and then he uses the analogy of a rubber band. When you stretch the rubber band, there's the elasticity. So he says what happens with us sometimes, if your mind and your being is not prepared in terms of knowledge and wisdom, even if you are given money today, it will come back to zero, because it's like elastic rubber. You stretch, then you come back. But there's a way when you grow, your mindset, how you think, how you relate to your networks and such kind of stuff, you'll be able to play around with whatever needs to be done.
So the first resource that has to be worked on is your mind.
It's your mind.
And excuse me, the word of God, I think in Deuteronomy chapter 8,
Yes.
if I'm right, it says that it is God who will give you
Ability
the ability
to create.
to create wealth.
Yes.
So the first thing is knowledge.
Knowledge.
I was listening to a gentleman who was saying that you go to school and all the learnings you get
Yes.
are just to make you able to live in this realm of life.
Yes.
If the knowledge you have is equal to the knowledge everybody has,
Yeah.
you're not any better.
Yeah.
Your knowledge has to be more than other people.
Yes.
For in the field you are in, for you to actually be an authority.
Yes.
And when you get there,
Yes.
people pay for what you know.
Yes. Very, very true. And when you talk about knowledge, I think if you ask me today, if I was to rewrite the education system,
Yes.
one of the things people need to be taught, like there are 3 types of education. There's what we call the basic education, which in a layman's language, I'll put it, learn how to read and to write. Because even the rich guys, actually what this guy, there are people who even sign checks, they have just learned how to write.
Yes. that's the basic.
That's the basic.
From class 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you can just learn
Yes.
to read and write.
Yes.
Because even most of the powerful knowledge, like one of the things you are told to be successful, you need to love to read books. Like in the African culture, I know we are improving, but literacy in terms of reading has really been low.
Yes.
Most of the nuggets, success stories, and some of the things that people have achieved, some of them are hidden in books. Even the Bible.
It's true.
Bible is one of the great manuals.
True.
But you see, for people just to have, people are challenged even to read the word of God. But do you know that most of the secrets are hidden in that word? So if you can learn to read and write, very, very important. Then now what you have talked about is about building. Last time we said like one of the things that will help you to be successful or to earn money is to identify your gift, your skill and area of passion. Now in line of wisdom and in terms of the mindset, you now need to build. Like if you are a mechanic, make sure that when we talk about mechanics, you are number 1.
Yes.
And we gave a quote that says, know 99% about one thing. Like now that is your domain, your area of call and your passion, but 1% about other things. So the mindset here we are talking about for you to create wealth is very, very important. Because if you don't have the right mindset, no matter how much we do for you. And when we talk about mindset, there are 3 things that we are talking about here.
Yes.
Like number 1 is the analogy on how you think about money. And here we need to view money as a tool. Not
Money as a tool.
Yes, not as a necessity. So what I mean,
it's not an end in itself.
It's not an end in itself. So we need to view money, number 1, as a tool. Just like a djembe to dig a garden. If you are to dig a garden,
Yes.
your fingers, And you know, in the olden days, you read the stories of how people would till land with sticks, even to plow and all of that. So number one, have that money is a tool to acquire the necessities of life and even to achieve your dream. Then number two, under still mindset, we need to know to have growth thinking. Think in terms of growth. Just like a child, there's the conception, the pregnancy, then the child grows 9 months, then the child is born, then we wean the child and we grow. So life is a process. So we need to have that mindset. And under growth mindset, adopt a mindset focused on opportunities, learning, and leveraging on resources.
Develop a mindset
focused on learning,
opportunities,
and leveraging on resources.
Does this mean that your mindset should constantly be looking out for opportunities that are available to create wealth?
Yes. And not only to create wealth and even to earn wealth. Because before we even create, we need to earn. And like one thing that we'll be talking about, number two, is on how to increase your income. And when I talk about have an open mindset to look for opportunities, like currently you are in a job, there's something right now happening with the coming of artificial intelligence.
Yes.
And they have already predicted that over 40% of the current professional job from IT, most people will be gotten out of the job market. And if there's something they are encouraging people right now is to do what we call retool or reskill. You need to upskill, like in terms of soft skill, like look at technology. Gone are the days that even to prepare a document, with AI, you can give a command and they will write for you a book, even a book about yourself.
True.
So you see, even like graphic designers, even just to design flyers, nowadays with AI tools, I can give a command and it will design me and give me a picture.
It's crazy. We were listening to something by Miles Monroe.
Yes.
And we listen, and you know, including his quotes and stuff. Only to later realize that somebody had written a lot of stuff and then used the AI tool to imitate the voice of Miles Monroe.
Yes.
So you literally think it's Miles Monroe who's speaking, but it's not Miles Monroe.
Yeah. So basically you have to retool, upskill and all of that. So with the coming, when say we have an open mind, you could be a teacher right now. But think how, because you see, if you don't think and act, you'll be replaced automatically by technology.
Yes.
I know there's the place for a man, but if we don't change and adapt, just like the way nowadays we use smartphones, if there's a person today who says, with me, I can't use smartphone like to communicate and do that, most of the things will leave you behind. Like for somebody to reach you, the first thing there is to call your number or to send you an email and all of that. So we have to be open to learn. That mindset of learning, be it on the career and also on the opportunities. Yeah.
So as you gather this information, information is so powerful because information removes the veil about whatever it is that you're reading about. And it shows you how this, like in Psalms chapter 82 verse 6, it says, they know not, neither do they understand, and so they walk on in darkness. So people walk in darkness because they don't know, they've not acquired information about a particular thing, and they've also not acquired the knowledge of how to operate that information. And so, you know, people just walk in darkness. So you have to understand and probably learning about money itself
and wealth, and just about the valuable resources. Let's not just restrict it to money, because when you only restrict to money, actually you'll realize money comes sometimes as a byproduct later. But you see, for example, if I'm knowledgeable, like in the career, for example, I'm an accountant, or like I am a teacher, or I'm a graphic designer, but I'm knowledgeable in that scope of my domain, something that I am good to do. So it means as I deploy solutions and serve people with that my knowledge, I'll be creating wealth. So that is one thing that people need to learn. And that is why sometimes we are told, like when we tell people to read, sometimes they think, I am an adult, why should I be able to read? But what you don't realize, there's something, like last time we talked about the ignorance is like a mountain. And you just mentioned it, some of the decisions you make is based on the understanding. And I think there's a proverb that talks about with wisdom and knowledge, a house is built and filled with valuable resources and all that. So by just being knowledgeable, by just having understanding, and this you can, like in the medical world, and more so when doctors are doing surgery,
yes,
you realize these guys cut your body.
Yes.
But for it, you see they are risking your life. If they mess with any vein or any artery or any organ in your body, everything goes well. And that is why you are told, like in the medical school, how many years for you to, it's over 6 years?
Yes.
Over 6 years for you to start practicing.
Some actually even 8.
Even 8. But why do they do that? Because now the practice requires you to operate with understanding. And even when you talk about the Bible, these people talks about the sons of Issachar.
They understood the times.
They understood the times and the seasons.
The seasons.
Because what understanding helps you is also to know the right time to do things and the right time not to do things. So the mindset and knowledge is very, very important.
So you get information and understanding helps you to know how this thing works.
Yes.
Once you know how this thing works, then you're not surprised. Even if something goes off, you know exactly how to fix it back. I remember I listened to a story of a gentleman who, you know, a machine in a factory basically just messed up. And this was a very, very expensive machine.
Yes.
And the engineers in the company, you know, they did everything, including, you know, the best engineer.
Yes.
And then this guy came, he was told they had to get somebody from outside to come and fix the problem.
Yes.
So including the big boss is there watching.
Yes.
So the guy comes, looks at the machine, checks, moves around, then goes to a screw,
and taps
a nut, turns it, tells them start, it starts, and everything is okay. Then and when he gives out his invoice,
I think I was relating it. There's the same story, like also a sheep that was stolen. And then the invoice, the guy says, I think he has broken it down into 2. 90% is tapping the right place.
Knowing
the right place to tap.
The boss was complaining. You just need the screw. And then here you're charging us almost $300,000.
Yes.
And he said yes. He said no. So he told him, okay, I'll let me change the invoice. He changed the invoice. $299,000 was for knowing the right nut to tighten. And then the other one was for tightening it.
And you see, that tells you why you need to be very, very good at what you do. Because like you see now, like the case of the guy, many people had been brought, but they could not get the right place to be able to solve the problem. And that is very, very important. And that is why you see in every industry, there are gurus and experts. And that, again, that thing of 99% knowing what you are good at is very, very important. So that when you are called, actually they say in the world, there are problems you are called to solve. You cannot run to every problem. But make sure that problem you are called to solve, you are good at it. So
that's the
mindset,
resource of the mind.
Then of course we've talked about that. So the number one thing, so when we talk about the mindset, the shift, money as a tool, then the being open to adapt in terms of the opportunities, learning and delivering you the success. Then the third thing is the Bible principle, which again we have mentioned. God is the author and the owner of everything. But we need to operate with that mindset. We are children of God, like we just mentioned. It's the one who gives us the ability. You see, if you don't believe that you can start a business, or you don't believe you can get, even like this issue of employment, People are crying there are no jobs, but right in their mindset they have said there are no jobs in Kenya. So you see, if already your mind
is blocked.
is blocked. Yes. Even if somebody wants to give you a solution. Somebody said the universe is wired in such a way that whatever you are looking for is also looking for you. So like in the world of, there's something they call waves, positive waves that are flowing in the universe. So if like your mind is wired, you are looking for something, you'll realize that also opportunities will be coming for you. So when they get you are ready, you will connect with them. But if you find that you are fighting, like you see the other time we are talking about, you are saying money is bad.
Yes.
The rich guys are all con men and all that. Yeah. So you see already, you cannot get what you are fighting. Yeah.
It's moving away from you.
Yeah.
Actually, you said that belief,
yes.
and that the belief is so important. From some of the things you've already said, and I use this analogy. In way before people started running 100 meters.
Yes.
And
nobody believed.
Yeah, nobody believed.
Yes.
They believed nobody can be able to do 11 seconds.
Yeah.
Then one person broke through, many believed and ran the same thing. Now people believed you can run 9 seconds, and the moment one of them broke through, now everybody is running 9 seconds.
They are realizing it is possible.
So before it, before it was impossible to their minds, and their minds set the limits for them, so that they could not achieve this. So the same thing, if you don't believe you're going to make money or you're going to create wealth, you've already set the limits in your mind. You will not achieve it.
Very true. There's something, I'll make a statement that could be a controversy, but it's something I've discovered. When we talk about success, I've come to realize after I've gone through challenges, and now I am on a path of restoration. You know, there are things you learn on the hard way. But if there's a statement I've come to realize, not everybody is ready to be successful.
Not everybody is ready to be successful.
We just talk about it on the lips. Sometimes I joke with my wife and I tell her, just go to Google and search, what do successful people do? And ask you, you'll be shocked. Like one thing, if you Google about successful people, you are told they wake up early. Yes. The 5 a.m. club. So people just say we want to be successful, but they are not ready to do what successful people do. Because one thing of learning is usually there's a principle somebody came up with, it's called copy and paste. Like if you want to be successful, it's the bare minimum. Just study what the successful people do and start doing it at your level. Like if they read books, start reading books.
Read books.
Yeah. If they eat healthy food, start eating healthy food. So, but one thing I've discovered,
monkey see, monkey do.
Monkey do. But people just say we want to be successful, but it now goes to nitty-gritties, the practical. And just go to Google and Google, what do successful people do? You'll be shocked. They are simple things. So people just say, I want money. But if you tell people, you see, like most of the time when you want me to come for this program, you usually call me and tell me, Bernard. There are times you call me in the evening and tell me, Bernard, are you coming?
Yes.
And I usually tell you, I'll come.
Yes.
The reason why, because in my schedule, I've always looked for opportunities to share the knowledge that I know. So it's not something I'm already in my mind, I've put a space that this thing should be done.
Yes.
But most people, we just say we want to be successful, but we are not.
But we are not ready to get our hands dirty to do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
So the first thing, you know what wealth is, have
the
a mindset that is positive towards wealth creation.
Yes.
Know that money is just a tool.
It's a tool, not just a necessity.
Yes. Yeah. It's a tool like a gender. You need a gender to go to the shop.
When you know it is a tool, you do not cling to it.
Yes.
You learn how to use it to multiply things.
Yes.
And you just reminded me when you were talking about the money, making your hands dirty. I think I used to, this is one of the quotes, somebody said, dirty hands make clean money.
Yes.
Of course, basically what that notion means is rolling your sleeves to be ready to work hard. Because like now in the tech industry, it could be about using your energy, your mental capacities to the maximum, your creativity and all of that. And even the Bible talks about the hard work. That somebody who works hard or somebody who plows at the right time will have harvest. So it basically means being ready to act, being ready to do whatever it requires to be doing to do that.
Yes.
The second thing we can talk about when we talk about wealth creation is to be on a path to increase your income. You must be ready to increase your income. As we said, life is a growth thing. So if you are earning like 20,000, do you have even a target to make it 25? So, and for that to happen, last time we talked about 2 ways of making money, the active and the passive. But now in the aspect of increasing your income, like in terms of active, develop high demand skills and take on additional roles and projects. Because the only way we said you can earn income or get money is by solving problems.
Yes.
But now here we are talking about be ready to develop high, and we've just talked about with the coming of the technology, you need to reskill and all that. Like in a job, when they want to promote people, usually they look somebody whose knowledge is higher and also have added the intellectual capacity. So don't just say, tell God, I want my salary to be increased. Are you ready yourself? Because most of them will just say, God, give me this thing, give me that. But you have not done your part. Then in terms of passive income, where we talked about the investment, also we need to look for opportunities that can give us good passive income, like the money you make that is not there.
So the passive, the money you make without you being presently involved.
Yeah.
As in it's just coming.
Yes. And that is where we talked about like things like money market.
Yes.
The government bonds, where they're buying the stocks and such kind of stuff, so that as you are sleeping, that money that you've set aside
is working
for you. And you see, the challenge that we are having with these things is that the reason why these things don't make sense is because most of the time we learn them when we are already late in the age. Like if these things can be caught by young children and they start early, like your 20-year-old son
yes.
or your daughter, and they just start learning it, it will become a very good thing. I was telling my wife the other day that when you read the Bible, it talks about we are given the keys of the kingdom. Not the key, the keys. So like when you enter this building today, there's the main door. But there are rooms, if you don't have the keys,
you won't
don't
enter.
be able to do. Now life is like that.
Yeah.
So we need to learn the key, the main key, but also their keys. Like when you talk about relationships, there is keys of relationship. When we talk about networking and such kind of stuff, there's a way you need to know and learn about that. So when we talk about like these things of the investment, be ready to learn, even when you have failed. Because we are coming, like I just told you my story.
Yes.
And I told people the conversation we are having is building on something. I myself am still learning. There are mistakes I made. I lost a lot of money, created a lot of problems, lost asset. But I am on a path of recovery, and I am ready to learn and interact. And I don't know it all. Some of the things I'm sharing, I've learned from people, and even I have mentors who speak into my life,
yes.
and I connect with them. So we must have that mindset, even if you failed.
And don't be, I think one of the biggest thing is we fear failure.
Yeah.
And by fearing to fail, most of us don't take action.
Yes.
Because I'm afraid I'll do this. Yeah. Is it going to make it? Is it not going to make it? Fear of failure.
Yes.
Maybe you can address that.
Okay. So basically, I think there's a quote that says, successful people don't fail.
Successful people don't fail.
This is what happens.
Yes.
Even if you do something and it does not work out,
yes.
you either win
yes.
or learn. You are either winning or you are learning. Even when you lose money, like for example, we are talking about trading and all of that.
Yes.
Like one of the things that trading has done to me, even in terms of trusting God.
Yes.
You see, like when you see the market could go high,
yes.
down, and you lose money and all of that. One of the things that this thing has done to me has made me to trust God more. Like even in the risk, if you tell me to tell me like tithe or give money like offering, I'll not have question about it, because there are things you learn by experience. Like, you know, you can get money and lose money.
Yes.
Then you know that, like this scripture that says that God's mercies are new every morning. When you look at the daily, the God's prayer, the daily prayer, it's called what? The Lord's Prayer, our daily Lord's Prayer. There's one statement that the Bible says, give us this day our daily bread. So it means every day there's something
there's a bread.
Just that statement in itself is very powerful. So it tells you when you wake up every day, you need to ask God, what is it today? Like as a businessman.
What's my bread today?
What is my bread today?
Give it to me.
Which are the people? Like I joke, there are 8 billion people in the world. If you've only seen 200 and they have failed, still there is hope.
If you've only seen these 200, then there is 8 billion.
Yeah. So we need to have that mindset. Every day there is something meant for me. Like yesterday, you might not have had money, but today there's somebody that God has put in your way, and that is where they talk about destiny helpers. People that God has just prepared for you. But it is your work to discern and realize who are these people. So when you talk about failure, one thing that failure does, it changes your thinking. For example, just like, for example, when you are driving and the brake fails, now you try to think for other techniques to make that car stop. That is when you will realize the mind can think, because you are thinking about life and death now. What can I do? So one thing that failure does, it gives you an experience. Remember last time we said there are 2 ways of learning. You can learn from the hard way of the experience. Of course, there are things, if it is God ordained, you will have to pass through it, whether you like it or not, like a wilderness or just a way as when things are in adversity and that. If it is God ordained, you can't help it. It will have to pass and learn. But there are things you don't have to go through. Like, for example, when you read books, you learn about mistakes that people made even with money and business, and you'll avoid it. So what failure does, number one, it expands your thinking. It helps you to see things in perspective. Usually, before you do something, it looks like impossible. Like today, if you look at even the challenges you pass through as an individual, you'll realize, how did I even pass through this? But what it has done, it has made you realize, kumbe, it is possible.
It's possible. I can do this.
Yeah.
And once, I have discovered that the words we speak are not just words. They are instructions to our subconscious. You say you cannot do it. Immediately those words, your subconscious is instructed, and it shuts down all the avenues for you to be able to do it.
And the devil knows how to use it, right?
Yes.
Because once your mind is blocked, you see, when we talk about the current problem of mental illness, why people are committing suicides and all that, you see, the devil will always try to put that shadow, that picture. It is your end. You have nothing and such kind of stuff.
You will never come out of this.
And that is why the Proverbs 23:7 that talks about, as a man thinketh, so is he. So when you, actually they say when you conquer yourself in terms of the mind and in terms of your emotion, you are really at a great place.
They say if better is he that conquers himself than the one that conquers a city. Yes.
Because if you can't rule yourself, because what the devil does is to make sure
you have no control over yourself.
Or he makes sure to tell you are nothing. So you see, the moment your subconscious mind believes that, actually even your actions, you'll be acting depending on what you believe and how you carry yourself. So it is very, very important. Like even the children, you are told that, like, right, the children, you go to children, like even in Sunday school, and ask them, what do you want to become? They say these big things.
Yes.
They have never, I want to be like my
they don't know, they don't have the concept,
the fear.
And the fear. They don't have the concept of failure, fear, or it will not happen. But they will tell you.
Yeah, but you realize as you go through the secondary, you come out and you are now asked, Fred, what do you want to become? You now start, you don't just answer it.
You sit and you're analyzing money and this. We don't have this. We don't have this. You end up saying, I want to be a watchman.
Because of the mindset.
Yes.
And also, I think last time we talked about how we erased our backgrounds.
Yes.
How we saw our parents coming up.
True.
Some of the limitations, even the challenges. Like one thing with me I have to deal with, for example, coming from a background, like I just said, I am an orphan. My mother died when I was 2 years.
Yes.
My father died when I was in standard 4. So I've been raised up by a guardian. But now from the background where I have come from, I have seen people struggle, like with money. So you see, if I don't change my mindset and learn, there is another perception. You know, I think last time you gave a very good story, that there's a time you had a maid, you would buy fruits.
Yes.
And
she
you would
didn't
not
want to
give
let
children.
kids eat.
Because when the children eat to highs like, they are getting over.
You're diminishing. And you know, it's amazing how this mindset control us.
Yes.
If you have a scarcity mindset, and all your decisions, everything you're doing is drawn from that scarcity mindset. You may have a lot of money that you can do, something reasonable with.
But you are stuck.
But you're stuck because of this scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
And so the best thing is to develop abundance mindset.
Yes.
And it does, I believe it does not come when you have an abundance.
Yeah.
You develop the mindset, then the abundance comes.
Yeah. So these things are, that is why we said you must be deliberate. It is something you consistently strive to grow, learn, update, adjust, and all of that. Because like this today, nobody has ever lived today. This is a new day.
All of us.
But you must approach the day with an open mind. And you see, even when we talk about God and faith, like the Bible says that without faith, it is impossible to please God. The way God wanted us to operate is to trust Him. Of course, do our part.
Yes.
Like I like the scripture that talks about with man, it is impossible. But with God,
all things.
Now, usually with me, that word with, I take the word partnership.
Yes.
So it means there's something I need to do,
but
there's something God has to do.
Yes.
Because you can't be sitting and say you want money, but you've not done anything.
Sleeping.
You're only sleeping.
You sleep. Poverty will come to you like a terrorist. Folding. You see the habits of the wealthy. They wake up early.
Yes.
But people like sleeping. And there's a proverb that say, a little folding of the hands. And poverty will come to you like something else. Yes.
I think one thing that the wealth and money does to you is to make you active. That is why you see the more money somebody makes or the more resources somebody has, their mind is deployed. The way they think, even sleeping, you have heard that most of the people, somebody was joking about even when people complain about the jam. The CEOs and the corporate guys who are
already in the office.
By 3 a.m. they have gone with their fuel gaslers.
Yes.
Because they want when they are driving, nothing is blocking them.
Yes.
So they better wake up early as 4 a.m. and be in their office. As you guys are crying of the jam,
the hymn is finished.
It's finished, it's all agendas.
By 10 a.m.
Actually, one thing I've realized,
these
people, they go the reverse way. When you people are going to work, they are going the other direction.
Yes.
When you people are coming back home, they go the other. That is the way they really operate. So the mindset and all of that.
At 10, they leave the office.
Yes.
Go for a game of golf.
Yes. To relax. To get more refreshed.
They've already done the key things.
Yeah.
So I can see our time is basically spent. Every Tuesday, we converse about things to do with wealth creation.
Money and stuff and growth. Actually, what we are doing is to grow.
Yes.
So this is an ongoing series.
Yes.
And another thing I want to say, some of the things you are sharing, they are things you've learned from others. There are things some we have practically seen.
Yes.
Like with me, I've just acknowledged. There's a time I made money and I lost it because some things were not right.
Yes.
Like even when we talk about the investment vehicles, some decisions we did not really think through. Like when you talk about the return on and the return on.
Yes.
So we are basically here because somebody would ask these things you are talking about and all that. I've had a test. Like when you talk about the insurance companies, I've been privileged to work with insurance companies.
Yes.
We talk about brokerage and such kind of stuff. So there's the knowledge I've seen, like even interacting with these guys and all of that.
Yes.
So we are here, not saying we know it all, but we are on a path to help people get the right knowledge and how to make the right decision.
And never be afraid to ask.
Yes.
I discovered that, you know, even some of the dumbest questions
Yes.
bring out some of the best answers. Because people are afraid to ask. People are afraid to act also.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to ask, don't be afraid to act. Because it's in that motion that something is generated.
Yes.
So develop your mind. Look for books. If you want to learn something about money, look for books that train you about money. If you want to learn about healing, look for books that will tell you about healings.
Yes.
Because as you renew your mind, something changes and you start seeing things from a completely different perspective. And you start drawing those things to you. Sawa? So remember, at 9 a.m. we're going to have your faith today. We've got an interesting show for you. I believe your faith will be built, you'll be strengthened. And then at 2 p.m. we've got Manu Kato. Teddy and DJ Show will come in and do their thing and interview the guests, and the preachers will be there, and musicians will also be there, and then you're strengthened your faith. So with that, we bring the curtains down on the show. Do have yourself a very lovely day.